Hello, Geography Champions. I would like to welcome you today to our session in Economic Geography. My name is Thomas and our country today is Fiji. Okay, let's start. Fiji, situated at the north of New Zealand, is one of the important islands in the Pacific. It is a hub of the economic development and shows a very interesting pattern in agriculture, industry, and tourism. In this lecture, we will be focusing on the economic geographical aspect of the country. Physical aspects will be presented afterwards. We will discuss the economy. Due attention will be given to the tourism sector, which consists of around 40% of the GDP. During our introduction, I will make some comparison with the Maldives. Like Fiji, the Maldives is also a tropical island paradise for Western tourists. Fiji and the Maldives are both top destinations in tourism. By comparing these two countries, we will hopefully get some interesting insights in our studies. Okay, I show you where is Fiji. Here we have Australia, New Guinea, Solomon Island, Vanuatu, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa. Okay, I repeat: Solomon Island, Vanuatu, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa. The flying time from Sydney to Fiji is 3 hours and 45 minutes. The flight time to San Francisco from Fiji is 10 hours and 30 minutes. I mentioned the Maldives. Let me show you where it lies. Okay, we have India, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives. Fiji has about 360 islands, of which only 1/3 are inhabited. The biggest island, Viti Levu and Vanua Levu, are of volcanic origin. The highest elevation is the Mount Tomanivi or Mount Victoria. Rotuma Island, which lies 465 kilometers away from the center, has its own language and culture. Rotuma Island. The Coral Sea is surrounded by the Viti Levu and Vanua Levu to the west and the north, and the Lau Group Island to the east. Several islands exist in the south of the Coral Sea: Gao, Kadavu, Moala, Totoya, and Matuko. On the west and northwest coast of Viti Levu, we have the island group Mamanuca and Yasawa, which is important for the tourism sector. How the island looks like, I will show you. Okay, we have Viti Levu and Vanua Levu, these two islands. Mamanuca and Yasawa Island Group. Here we have Suva, the capital city of Fiji. Here is the Nadi airport, and we have here Denarau, which is the hub. Okay, Nadi and Denarau is the hub of Fiji tourism. Please also keep in mind the dimension of the island. The island is more than 100 kilometers in distance. The Coral Sea, it has about 200 kilometers. Okay, we make a quick revision. Viti Levu, Vanua Levu, they are the two big island. We have the Lau group, Mamanuca, Yasawa group, and the Coral Sea. No? Yes. The land area is 18,333 square kilometers, which is 25 times the size of Singapore. Okay, 25 times the size of Singapore, and more than 60 times the size of Maldives. The Maldives have only 298 square kilometers of land. We talk now a bit about the climate. Tropical and maritime climate prevail. The average temperature is between 23 and 30 degrees Celsius. The annual rainfall is about 3,000 millimeters per year. Because of the heavy rainfall, Fiji has a large rainforest. Tropical storm arrives at the island between November and January. Now in this map we can see the whole distance of the South Pacific. This part of the world is at the forefront of the climate change. To talk more about the climate change will be out of the scope of this video. But I would like to recommend one YouTube video about this subject. It is ABC Australia on YouTube. ABC Australia, Fiji, the last resort. Okay. The city of Suva is the economic hub of Fiji. They have a stock exchange and university in this city. Lautoka is on the west coast of Fiji. Lautoka is called a sugar city in Fiji. It has a sugar mill, which is the largest in the southern hemisphere. On the opposite side of the mill, we have a distilleries on the Navutu Road. This factory is using the sugar syrup from the mill to produce rum and other beverages. About the population consists of Fijians, 57%, Indo-Fijians, 38%, and other races, according to the World Fact Book. Fiji has an educated population. There are universities for business and medicine. Now we talk a bit about the agriculture and industry. The sugar industry was long introduced by the British during the colonial rule. Sugar production is still an important sector today. There is a sugar mill in Labasa, here's Labasa, and as mentioned before, in Lautoka. There's some gold mining activities going on in Fiji, but the output of this sector is declining. Timber is also being produced in this country. There are timber mills in Drasa and Wairiki. The fishing industry was built up with some help of Japan. In Lautoka, we have the fishing harbor. There is a cannery in Suva. There are beer breweries in Fiji. Some local food is being processed, which is encouraged by the government to reduce imports. Now we talk about the digital economy. According to Fiji Times, most of the part of Fiji is connected. Fiji also cooperates with US companies to promote its digital infrastructure. Road is developed at Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. There are shipping connections between the island. The air connection is exceptionally well developed in Fiji. Nadi and Nausuri are the airport for foreign and domestic flights. There are also numerous airports in Fiji which serve domestic flights. The national airline is one of the top foreign exchange earner for the country. Now we talk about the tourism in Fiji. One of the most important sector in the Fiji economy is the tourism. Sandy beaches, palm trees and clear sea water characterize the landscape of this island nation. Fiji is one of the top destinations in the world. Some of the beach activities are beach volleyball, beach walking, swimming, scuba diving, snorkeling, surfing, stand-up paddle boarding, sailing, yachting, jet boat, boat ride, canoeing, kayaking, jet ski, windsurfing, water skiing, parasailing, reef walking, coral viewing, dolphin watching, fish feeding. Harrison Prasad, they wrote an article in 2013, University of South Pacific in Fiji. They categorize the tourism in 4 regions: Sikatoka Hadroga, the Coral Coast, Nadi, the Mamanuka and Yasawa Island, location of some of the best beaches, Suva and its environ. They wrote that these 4 regions account for 90% of all beds and 69% of all the beds are on Viti Levu. Nadi, which is the hub of Fiji's tourism, accommodates 42% of its visitors in 2017. Nadi offers accommodation ranging from high-end to backpackers. Okay, we have now some statistics. As I mentioned before, we make some comparison with the Maldives. Fiji, it has a land area of 18,333 square kilometers, and the Maldives, they have only 228 square kilometers. Tourist arrival in Fiji, 0.84 million per year. In the Maldives is 1.3. Tourism in percentage of GDP, 34%. in Fiji, in Maldives is 24%. Travel time from Europe to Fiji is more than 24 hours. Travel time from Europe to Maldives is 10 hours. And here we have the tourism leakage in percent. What it means I will explain later. In Fiji it is 60%, and in Maldives it is 80%. Okay. Australians and New Zealanders consist of more than 2/3 of the arrivals in Fiji. Okay, these are figures in 2017. Australia 43%, New Zealand 22%, Europe 7%. From the figures of Maldives, from Europe you have 52% arrivals from Europe. Okay, in the Maldives 52% from Europe, and Fiji only 7%. Australians and New Zealand, they consist of more than 2/3 of the arrivals. As I mentioned before, only 6% of the arrivals are from Europe. In the Maldives, more than half of the arrivals comes from Europe. This phenomena is structural. Okay, it is structural, which means it's difficult to change. It takes about 24 hours to travel from Europe to Fiji, as there is no direct flights, whereas it takes only around 10 hours to fly from Europe to the Maldives. Direct flights are available. And Fiji wants to diversify their market, for example, to attract Chinese, Indian, or American tourists. They also want to diversify their traditional tourism to other forms of tourism, such as sports or cultural tourism. In order to achieve it, a sizable amount of investment is needed in the infrastructure. The main difference between tourism in Fiji and Maldives is that the accommodation in the Maldives are based on tourist resorts under the principle one island, one resort, whereas in Fiji the hotels are more diverse. On the Denarau Island, okay, we have Denarau. You have several hotel complexes with a golf compound. Okay, these are separate hotel complex. This is made possible through the availability of land. Here we have the distribution of hotel in the Maldives. One island, one resort. Okay, these are two atolls. In the Maldives, they have more than 20 atolls. It has a distance of more than 700 kilometers. Okay, maybe you can't see it very clearly. I show you this picture in the book. One moment. Harrison and Prasad wrote that besides the international brand hotel, there are also numerous locally owned hotels, for example, for backpackers in the Yasawa region, which also contribute a considerable financial amount to the economy. One last point I want to talk about is the leakage of tourism. Leakage is the percentage of the earning which flows to the foreign country. For example, in the Maldives, we have a leakage of 80%. This figures is being mentioned by Suresh Kumar Kundur. You can download this article from the official site of tourism from Maldives. That means that for $1 earned in the country, 80 cents is accrued to the foreign company. The leakage in Fiji is about 60%. It is also being mentioned by Harrison and Prasad. Maldives have a higher ratio than Fiji, as all the equipment and maintenance of the infrastructure has to be imported. They also have to import a sizable amount of food for the resorts. The expats in the hospitality sector and the foreign ownership of the hotel also contribute to the leakage in the Maldives. The figure is better in Fiji because it has a bigger agricultural sector, which means they have to import less food. Fiji also has some factories to supply the building material for the hotels. Due to the sizable land, Fiji has a better linkage from the tourism to the agricultural production and the handicraft sector. Now we come to an end of our session. I would like to thank you for watching this video. See you in our next video.